Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I'd like to talk a bit more about fat loss and weight loss and the difference between the two, because I've had a lot of questions recently from people saying over the last few days I've put on some weight and I don't know what to do, it's demotivated me, should I change something? So this video is going to be a little bit about that and what you can do about it and what is actually happening. So let's get into the video. So you can see on screen here I've got a graph, and the red line is basically representing fat loss and the blue line is representing weight loss. So there's a big difference between weight change and fat change. So when you step on the scale, what you're actually measuring is weight change. So you're measuring your whole body, which includes the fat, but it also includes your muscle, your organs, your water weight, your food, and your digestive system, a lot of different things. So the scale is measuring you, everything. Now, we can't actually measure fat change. So there's no actual easy way to measure fat change. We can only use the methods we got and interpret the results as losing weight and losing fat. So what that means is sometimes you may put on weight or lose weight, but that doesn't mean it's been fat, it's been something else. So when you are in a calorie deficit, so if consuming fewer calories than your body needs, then you're going to be losing fat. Like I said though, it's difficult. We can't measure only fat. We're measuring your whole body when you measure yourself on the scale. So that's what this blue line represents. So your fat loss may be linear, so the red line, but the blue line, it can go up and down. So while your fat might be going down, your weight might go up a bit, or it might come down below the fat level, it might go up and down. So on a day where you maybe measured, say, here, and your fat loss was a certain amount, but then the next day the weight loss is up here, if we look at the fat, it's still really low. It's still going down, even though the weight loss has stalled, even though the weight loss shows you're heavier. That's a problem because it affects motivation. Your weight's gone up, but you need to remember that while you're measuring your weight, that's only a number on the scale, which, like I said, is measuring your whole body. And remember, when you are losing weight, you don't really want to lose weight. You want to look smaller. So the goal is to continue losing fat, which we are doing in the background if you're in a calorie deficit. So it's really important to not let the scale number affect motivation. So what can we do about that? Just basic understanding to start with. So understanding that if the scale goes up and down, then it doesn't mean that you stop losing fat. It doesn't mean that what you're doing is not working. Number two is we can reduce the amount of times per week we're weighing ourselves, because as we know, you can't really see a difference in a few days of fat change, but you can see a difference in a few days of water change. So if you see your weight's gone up on the scale through water change, it's going to affect your motivation quite often. So the solution is don't check. And so say you checked here and you checked here, you wouldn't know about this bit in the middle. So that's like a big advantage. Not knowing about it, not knowing about a water weight change, which wouldn't make any difference anyway, is a good thing. Another way is to try and use a method, a measurement method, to take away any sort of fat loss masking results. So like I said, your weight is your whole body. So we want to know if your weight's gone up, has your fat actually gone down? And again, like I said, you can't measure fat, but you can measure other things. So two ways I like to use to get around weight changes which show that your weight's gone up, even though your fat might be going down, is number one, use a tape measure to measure parts of your body, so around your waist, around your thighs, around your arms. and your weight might have gone up, but if your tape measure measurements have gone down or stayed the same, then you haven't gained fat. You're still on your progress. You're still working towards your goal in a positive way. Another way is to take progress photos. So every couple of weeks you can take progress photos, and then you'll be able to see the differences in your body, and that's what you really want. You want to look smaller. You don't really care. Who cares if the scale says you weigh 200 pounds if you look amazing? So I know that's a bad example, but it doesn't matter what the scale says. The only person that cares about the number on the scale is you. The people around you, they see you as you are, so they see you as the size you are. So that's the thing that you want to change really. When you say weight, it's just a way of measuring that. And there are a lot of ways to measure that. So that's why I mentioned those other two, the tape measure and the progress photos. So fat loss is usually a slow progress, because to lose a pound of body fat, you have to be consuming 3,500 calories less than your body is burning. If you're losing weight quicker, or gaining weight quicker even, it's most definitely water weight, because water has 0 calories, so it can be stored or released in your body just like that. So if you put on a pound really quickly, then it's most likely to be water. If you lose a pound really quickly, it's most likely to be the water. So we need to be aware of that and not let it affect our motivation, because what we want, like I said again, is to look smaller. So ignore the short-term things, look at the long-term, weigh yourself less often, use the other measurements as well. Another thing is muscle loss. So it's really important to maintain muscle, because underneath your fat you have the muscle, which makes you look lean and slim. Muscle has less calories in it than fat. So if you drop a pound of muscle, then it comes off a lot quicker and the weight will show on the scale that you've dropped. However, muscle loss doesn't make you look much smaller. That's not what you want. You want to look smaller, remember. So you don't want to lose muscle, because that's what keeps you slim and toned, and also it gives you false results in terms of weight drops which don't make you look smaller, and that's not what your goal is. So that's all I wanted to really explain with this. I hope that made sense. The fact that fat loss, even though it's happening in the background, you can't really measure it directly, and what you see is just a fluctuation around that. What matters is trying to realize and keep your motivation high while that's happening, with other things going on top, with the water weight mostly, because that's what will affect day-to-day weight changes. So again, don't keep weighing yourself regularly, because that's not showing your proper results. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. As always, like, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.